Well, that didn't go as expected, did it? 1 pointer from Haaland. Here I am the morning after, reflecting on that. I had a look and he's only ever got 1 point in FPL once before. Gameweek 16 last season against Brentford when he was booked. So to say it was a bit unlucky is an understatement. This time, of course, it was an injury, went off at half time, rolled his ankle it seems. Pep speaking afterwards saying that he's hopeful for Tuesday for the young boys game. Not that worried about it, but obviously left to reflect. Just a single point from my captain, so no doubt it's advantage to the non-Irelanders who will go into today's game with Salah captain and also Darwin. They could really hurt my rank and really make a big difference to mini leagues and ranks everywhere. 0.46 is XG for Haaland. Not terrible by any means, hit the post. And no doubt if he'd have stayed on, I think there was a good chance of returning a 6-1, of course. That was the result we expected, just not the outcome. But then, you know, spare a thought for Alvarez owners. I think he got 1.02 XGI, one of his best of the season, and yet came out with nothing at all. So, yeah, quite a lot of bad luck there. Doku, obviously the headline act. What a performance, 19 points, extraordinary stuff. No surprise that he was the most bought, and no surprise that he's got a price rise. I'm not so sure about him. You know, he started 2 of the last 4. He's going to alternate with Grealish and Foden. I think in the bigger matches, I think Pep will still go with Grealish, Foden, Silva, and Doku will be left to be an impact sub. But even so, that performance, we've got to start thinking about him as a credible Man City asset and one that's going to secure starts, but we'll see, won't we? So I had 4 players playing in Saturday's games. Haaland obviously was the one, just a single, 2 points. Areola again with just a single point. Starting to worry me, the fact that West Ham are so fragile defensively. It's interesting that in the same game, Fleckham went off and Strakosa, who's my sub-keeper, came on for the second half. So you never know, I might actually have an active second keeper there if that's an injury to Fleckham that's going to keep him out. The other 2 I had were Saka and Trippier, who of course played in the same game at St James's Park, and controversial game. Was it in, was it out, was there a foul, was there offside? So many kind of controversies around that goal. I thought the ball was out, but anyway, so Golden Owners got their points there. I can't complain though, because I got the clean sheet and more bonus from Trippier. He just, absolute machine, and very thankful for him. Newcastle though, defended really well. I mean, injury for Burns, so unfortunate for those who are carrying Burn, but overall, again, so determined. And Arsenal, without Odegaard, some real concerns about their attacking fluidity and prowess. I mean, I got Saka in the wild card. He didn't really show up in that game at all. Was kept really quiet by Burn and then Trippier. So yeah, Arsenal a bit of a concern. Going to hold Saka obviously. Apart from that, there was the Brighton draw at Everton. Not too much to take from that. Matoma came out of it with the assist. Looked quite fortunate to get that off the young deflection. Adinga didn't show up. Nothing too much to note from Brighton other than João Pedro not starting again. So he's got to be a no-go, hasn't he? I guess Nketiah is the temptation, but he didn't impress at Newcastle. I do wonder whether his start remains secure while Jesus is out. Obviously Trossard and Havertz can feature in that role. And then there was we've got to talk about Tyreek Mitchell's goal for Palace. I mean, we gave Andy North, bless him, a load of flack, me and Az, for picking Mitchell over Gahey. And what does he do? Mitchell gets his second career goal at Burnley. Ridiculous. Good win for Palace. Burnley continue to struggle, don't they? Nice football, but just no end product from them, and they're struggling. With Sheffield United winning, Archer scoring a timely goal for people off the bench. I know Billy got him off the bench, so congrats if you've been fortunate to get that player off. But yeah, Archer continues to do just enough to warrant that inclusion as a 4-5 active sub for us. And Sheffield United, perhaps this is the start of some results for them. And so what's left? Well, 3 games, as I say, and the Planet FPL Live podcast today will be an interesting affair for me. Looking forward to the podcast at 7. Not looking forward to the Forest Villa game with 3 Villa players in that game. Obviously my allegiance is split there. And I'm certainly not looking forward to watching Salah and Darwin destroy my rank at Luton. Good morning. It's a lovely Monday morning, and just want to say first of all, thanks to James and Sudge for putting on such a fantastic Planet FPL pod live in London yesterday. All through the day we watched the matches, and then 7 o'clock it was a podcast, which was excellent, and it was great to see so many faces from the community courtesy of the FPL Meets folk. Yeah, if you've never been to an event, a fantasy football event, whether it be a Meets or a Fest or any of the live pods, I really encourage you to go because brilliant time. Matches were entertaining. Let's talk about those. First of all, Forest, very, very happy with the 2-0 win over Villa. I'm very surprised that we made Villa look as ordinary as that. Very controlled performance. Toffolo 2 assists. I mean, he looks like he's not going to lose his place, but I think if I was looking at a Forest defender now, it would still be Murillo, still coming out on top of the baseline bonus. So 4-5 to Toffolo's 4-4, but to be honest, even though our fixtures are better, I still wouldn't look at a Forest defender right now, or even any Forester player, because still not looking too potent. Awani, I should get that right. Probably our best bet over Gibbs White, but at the moment he's carrying an injury still, so I still wouldn't go there. His fitness is still something of a concern. He's not completing 90 minutes. There's a bloody leaf clearer coming. There he goes. Yeah, so no Forest asset on my radar at the moment. Blackademus in goal. I was quite pleased to see that, to be honest. Turner, although I was impressed some, always gave me a little bit of anxiety watching him. So I'm not surprised to see him dropped after the mistake at Liverpool, and I don't see him getting recalled. So Blackademus, unfortunately, is 4-5. Not going to be an option for Forest. As for Villa, yeah, Derby and Watkins were very disappointing. We kept them very, very quiet. Derby's a concern going forward, because I think he's the one player in my team other than Trippier that I could probably afford to sell and look at alternatives. There are some alternatives in that area which we'll talk about, like Kudos, for example, who looked very effective at West Ham. So yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Diaby under threat in my team, but I'm going to give him the Fulham game because I think Fulham at home, we know Villa's home form is fantastic, and Fulham, although they're not the easiest defence to play against now, they have firmed up a bit. I still got to back Villa in that game. So keeping Diaby and Watkins. Cash injury. Looks like a shoulder injury, could be a concern. We need to look at that. Again, there's plenty in that area. If you were having to sell for the Fulham game, you could look at going down to Lascelles, of course, at 4 million. But there's some good options there. The Palace defence, again, keeping the clean sheet in this game week. Lots of 4-5 options there. So I think if you did have to sell Cash, you'd probably do it if there was like a 1 or 2 week doubt. So we need the stages of that injury from memory before the Fulham game. And then obviously the Luton-Liverpool game, that was a real turnout, a very, very entertaining match. Luton played very, very well, stuck to their game plan. Liverpool really struggled to break them down. Darwin with 9 shots, an XG of 0.91, and that sitter in the second half, laid on by Salah, who was very quiet. He only had the 2 shots, and really his own XGI, I think it was like 0.72, boosted by that chance that he laid on for Darwin, which is obviously a very high XG chance, but didn't convert. I mean, it's typical from Darwin, lots of shots, didn't take his chances. Not typical of his recent form, but typical of what we've seen in the past. So, yeah, it's a real let-off for Haaland owners, because we went into that game facing up against Salah and, of course, Darwin, and got away with it. So, I was quite happy to come out of that with a red arrow, about 40% rank drop. I've got Son and Palmer playing tonight, so chance to get that down a little bit. So I'll come back after the Monday night game and round things off. See you in a bit. Oh, where do we start? That was an extraordinary match. Couldn't quite believe what I was watching at times. Just utter chaos. From an FPL perspective, injury to Maddison, although I don't think it's too bad. Injury to Van der Ven looks really bad, probably out for 3 or 4 months is the early talk. And then you've got Romero and Udogie suspended. Romero for the 3, Udogie for the 1. They'll go to Wolves with their defence in tatters, then they've got Villa after that. So from a defensive perspective, FPL managers have got to be wary of that and looking for Udogie and Van der Ven replacements, of course. Yeah, Maddison should be fine. And as for the match with the Jackson hat-trick, I don't think many seasoned FPL managers will jump on Jackson's off the back of that, so it would be interesting to see how many transfers in he gets. Palmer, I guess, was the other standout. Got the 12 points, a 3rd penalty, just crazy, and the assist for the final goal. So Palmer came in for me, 12 points, obviously very happy about that. And I managed to get a green arrow out of it, up to 58k. Pray for Aslow, oh my word. 11 points from his 11 players. He went into the game with 12 points and ended up with 1 less with 3 players playing. I don't quite think I've seen anything like before. It's going to be a hell of an episode of Blackbox on Wednesday talking about that. We've got a lot to dig into as well, so make sure you join us for that when we'll go over the game week in a bit more detail and look forward to game week 12. Of course, I'll talk about some of the things that I'm looking at for my lineup at a game week 12. I just want to end by just thanking those who gave feedback on these videos. Going to keep them coming. I enjoy doing them, so thanks for the comments and the kind words that were said. Hope you like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on Wednesday with Az.